find dy over dx, that is derivative of y with respect to x, by implicit differentiation. Implicit differentiation in the sense we cannot isolate y. Maybe it's really difficult to isolate y. Okay, so we take the derivative of both sides with respect to x. So that is, we can write d over dx of left hand side equals d over dx of right hand side, sine xy squared. Okay, now I'm going to write as a prime notation, so dy over dx is y prime in short. So let's do the derivative. Derivative of 2 is 0, minus derivative of x with respect to x is 1, equals, this one for me looks like sine of some function of x. Okay, so sine of u, and we know that when we have sine of u and when we find its derivative by the chain rule, that's cosine of u, okay, sine of u, let's say this, times u prime, and xy square happens to be like u. Okay, so then we get cosine of u times u prime. So I'm going to wait for one more line. So this is -1 in the left side, so times this one. Look at the derivative. This prime means derivative with respect to x, and we got a product here, so we must use the product rule. So this is cosine of xy squared. So when we use the product rule, we're going to get two terms, so I'm going to put parentheses or bracket, does not matter, plus. Now derivative of x, 1 times y squared, plus derivative of y squared, that's 2y, but we are finding derivative with respect to x, so by the chain rule, y prime. And by the way, y prime is dy over dx. So derivative of second factor times first, which is x. Now our derivative is done. Next we need to isolate y prime. So we got two terms here and we got here, so we have two ways to do it. Maybe we can move it. We can divide both sides by this factor. That leaves y squared plus 2y y prime x, and subtract this, then divide by 2yx, and we can isolate y prime. Okay, this is a product, so we can divide both sides by cosine of xy squared. Okay, and let me do that. That leaves -1 over cosine of xy squared is equal to, now I don't have, we could have distributed this as well, okay, I mean that would work as well, but I divided as it was possible here. Then 1 times y squared is just y squared, plus this one is 2yx y prime. We can write in this way, 2xy y prime. Okay, we are trying to isolate y prime here. I mean y prime is dy over dx. Now we need to subtract y squared. Here you may leave 1 over cosine, but we know that 1 over cosine is secant. So just to save some space, I'm going to write secant, but 1 over cosine is fine. 1 over cosine is secant of the same angle xy squared, and I want to subtract y squared from both sides. Okay, because I'm about to isolate y prime, so subtract means minus y squared as well. Okay, so I get minus y squared, then is equals 2xy y prime, okay, times. Then now finally, okay, let me go back here, we can divide by 2xy to isolate y prime. So this implies y prime equals, in the left side we got negative secant xy squared minus y squared, we cannot simplify anything, divided by 2xy, this factor. And this is in fact dy over dx, which was being asked. Okay, y prime is dy over dx. This is final.